Did you know that smoke alarm and carbon monoxide alarm requirements changed for Virginia landlords in 2018? A lot of people don't know this. In this video, I'm going to teach you a little bit about those new requirements and what you can do to be compliant with them, and we'll even give you a form to help you out. For great landlord tips, subscribe to our channel down below, and if you'll hit that bell, you'll get a notice every time we put out a new video, which should be about every week, so we'll give you lots of great info for free. Obviously, for homeowners and landlords alike, and tenants, having smoke alarms and carbon monoxide alarms is a key safety factor. They just simply save lives. But as a landlord, you have some extra liability. And in this video, I'm going to teach you a little bit about what you need to do to make sure that you're in compliance with the state laws that changed as of July 1, 2018. I'm Craig Richey. I'm the COO of Richey Property Management in Northern Virginia outside of DC. Okay, so about the smoke alarms and carbon monoxide alarms, let's look back a little bit first. Prior to July 1, 2018, there were different codes or laws in all the different localities around the state. Actually, some areas had no real rules about it, but generally there were laws in most areas, just not very consistent ones. And what happened then is that there was very little enforcement and very little way for a landlord or a tenant to know what the rules should be regarding smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms in their property. So the intent of the law that was passed was just to standardize things and give us a platform and something to set an expectation so that people could know when they're doing things correctly. And one of the big important things to remember is that while you need to have these alarms in place, you don't have to tear down and rebuild your whole house or rewire everything to make it happen. What you do need to do is make sure that the alarms you install comply with the Virginia Uniform Statewide Building Code, or the building code. That's not terribly hard, but you do need to make sure you're doing it the right way. So getting a good contractor to do this for you is an important step in that. Also, if you have tenants who are deaf, hard of hearing, or have vision problems, you do need to make reasonable accommodations to have special devices that will alert them in case of a fire or other safety issue. One of the key elements of the new law is that landlords have to test and certify the function of these smoke alarms every 12 months. And so when a tenant moves in, they need to be shown that the alarms have been certified within the past 12 months, and they need to be updated, within every 12 months of the prior certification. Landlords can do these inspections and certifications themselves, or they can hire a contractor to do it for them. There is some advantage to having a contractor do it because you actually take some of the liability away from yourself and put that responsibility on the person who is doing the inspection. The certification needs to show that the alarms are in place, in good working order, have not expired according to manufacturer's directions, which is usually 10 years after the date of manufacture, and that if they're battery operated, they have working batteries in them. So essentially, you need to make sure that all the alarms, smoke alarms, are there where they belong, that they haven't been tampered with or covered up, that they haven't had batteries pulled out, and that they're essentially functioning and working the way they're designed to work. The more complex part of this is to make sure that you have the right number of smoke alarms. And it becomes complex because the laws have changed over time. And so the date of your last renovation or last work on the property could determine what laws apply to where alarms should be installed in the house. And it's better to be safe than sorry and to install a couple of extra alarms. They do need to be installed correctly at the right height and distance from wall and ceiling intersections and in the right areas. And again, hire a contractor who knows what they're doing and will make sure that they're using the right types of alarms. For example, if you've had hardwire alarms in the past, you cannot go back and replace them with a battery-operated alarm right next to it. You do need to use the hardwired alarms. The interconnectedness of hardwire alarms is the key function there, and that saves lives because if one alarm goes off, all the others start screaming and sounding to alert everybody in the building. Another issue is carbon monoxide alarms. So the law now states and clarifies that if a tenant requests a carbon monoxide alarm, a landlord has to install one within 90 days of that request. You can charge the tenant for the cost of the installation, but you must comply with it. You can't refuse to install a carbon monoxide alarm. So what can you do to make sure you're in compliance with these laws? One is to make sure that whenever you get a new tenant moving in, you give them a certification that the alarms are working within a very short time before that move-in date. And then make sure that you schedule annual inspections after that. For the best security, you should probably have a third-party contractor do that for you so that it's documented through other systems as well. And then make sure that you use a proper notification certificate when you do that certification. We've included one for you below, so look for the link there and you can download a copy of a certificate for your tenants. And don't forget, like any sort of inspection and compliance, consistency is the key factor here. So you want to make sure you're doing it every year. Put it in the calendar, do it regularly, provide the certificate to your tenant, and just be consistent. With the consistency, you'll not only get more reduction of your legal liability, you also generally get happier tenants. And over the long term, that's going to make your cost to operate your rental property stay lower, your profitability become higher. So if you like this video, again, please subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified of our new ones weekly, and share it with any friends that you know who could use this information. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next video.